Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Build a Quilt, home of Build a Quilt, Patchwork in the Hoop, and it's Wednesday Workshop Live. Hi, everybody. Sorry, got my tongue tied there a little bit. So glad to have you all with me tonight. Of course, this is Wednesday night workshop for Build a Quilt, Patchwork in the Hoop. Right, the hoop is the hoop of our embroidery machine. How many embroiderers do we have with us tonight? I'd love to see some people commenting on if you love to do machine embroidery. And if you love to do machine embroidery and you love to do quilting, or you always thought you wanted to do quilting, but you don't want to go through the process of learning one of the two more traditional methods, do it with the hoop of your embroidery machine. Everything you see behind me, all done with my embroidery machine. Traditional patchwork quilting, not patchwork embroidery to look like quilting, but true patchwork quilting. And I created it for us embroiderers who really want to do patchwork. I had friends who wouldn't quilt with me. Isn't that sad? But they do now because they can do it with the hoop of their embroidery machine. And with Build a Hoop, 9 times out of 10, sometimes just 10 times out of 10, all you need is a 5x7 hoop to make your segments. Very easy. Lots of videos here on the channel, how to and to get you started. So if you're brand new and you're wondering what it's about and how it works, check out my mother of all quilt blocks, the mama block of all, the half square triangle. Check out that video because that will give you the basic rundown of everything, okay? Because we might not go through every little piece every single week, but check that out. Alrighty, let me go ahead and get rid of that banner there. We're kind of done with that. We have some hello T. Hello, Kathy from Storm Ravage, North Carolina. Kathy, I don't know if you got my email today because I don't know if your email is working, dear, but I sent you an email just to see how you were doing. I'm all of you folks in those like 4 or 5 states that have just been ravaged by this storm. I still think about you every day. In fact, I have something to say about that later. You did get it. Okay, good, Kathy. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Ruth. So glad to have you with us. Oh, good. Y'all are just chatting with each other. Good. Just keep on chatting. That's cool because you can listen to me and chat with one another because we're just one big happy quilting family here at Build a Quilt. Are we not? I love that. You're just trying to survive. Yeah. I have family in Florida. And I have friends who are like family in North and South Carolina. All of my people are safe. They've had some problems, but nothing like what so many are going through. I mean, they have things like, they've got to replace a few tiles on the roofing, or, they got a little bit of flooding, but not that bad. And it's already receded and it didn't come into the house, which is nothing compared to folks who have no water, no electric, no homes, no nothing. It's just, I can't talk about it much because I will just I've like broken down in tears over it every single day. It just breaks my heart to see that happen. But we're here for a good time together. Now I'm going to try and keep us out of here by 7 like normal. But I will tell you, we have a packed evening tonight. I have a super big surprise at the end, so you have to stay for the super big surprise. And just got lots of stuff. And tonight is our October Quilt Lab edition of Workshop because we're going to introduce the October Quilt Lab block. So lots of fun. 2 trucks headed to North Carolina. Our hotels are packed. Yeah, I bet so, T. I bet so. Yeah, it's just, it's so tragic. All right, so glad that you're all with me. If you are new, please sign in the comments and just say, hi, I'm ABCDEFG, or let us know where you're from, just so we can say hello. We certainly love having you all with us. Kathy, we came to McAllister's Deli so hubby can play chess and I can get on the internet. So you don't have internet at home, Kathy? Oh my goodness. But McAllister's is a good place. They have a great pastrami sandwich. We have those up here in Illinois. We actually got some of that storm all the way up here in northeastern Illinois. We sure did. We had 2 days of just the biggest, thickest, heaviest clouds laid over. It was like the ceiling of the clouds of the sky was like right on top of your head. They were so low. We had fog. And then we got wind. We got wind for about 2 days. We technically do live in the windiest part of Illinois where Dave and I live. And we had sustained winds of 50 miles an hour, nothing what you got down south. But for us, that's a pretty good bit of wind. We're used to tornadoes here, but I was shocked. We actually did get rain from the tail end of that storm and all too. It was just crazy. You have electricity sporadically. Well, I heard today that some folks aren't going to have drinking water, like coming out of the faucet for practically 6 months. That is unbelievable. So, well, stay very safe, Kathy, for sure. And I'm glad your husband can play chess while he's at McAllister's too. Everybody needs, when those things happen, everybody needs a little way to relax. I know many years ago, Dave and I lived on an island out in Washington State, Whidbey Island, and there was a horrible, horrible ice and snowstorm. Very bizarre out there. They get snow sometimes now, but not when we lived there, really. And the wind and all was so bad on that island that night. Us and our neighbor and another friend, we had 4 adults, 2 English Mastiffs that were 180 pounds each. So we had 5 adults basically, and a little dog and a bird, all in our car, our sedan, what did we have back then? I think we had a Honda Accord back then. And we were trying to get off the island to the mainland because there was no electric. We had been literally sitting like this far from our fireplace all day trying to stay warm because it was below zero. We kept our bird's cage right up to the fireplace so he would stay warm. We got the last 2 hotel rooms off the island if we were able to get there. As we are driving off the island, everything behind us is on fire and you can literally see the trees coming down. And it was 2 weeks before we got power and water back. And that was awful. I just can't even begin to think about 6 months. That would just, I'd have to go live somewhere else because that would just, I'd have to go camp somewhere, I guess, because that would make me just crazy. So for all of you in that situation and down in those storm-tossed areas, I'm still saying prayers for you guys, okay? Yeah, it was scary, Kathy. It was totally bizarre. We all had blankets wrapped around our head. We looked like little ladies from the old country. It was funny. Now we look back and we were laughing. That night, it was not funny at all. Alrighty, so are we ready for some fun? We've got a big night, got lots to tell you, lots of stuff to go over, and a big surprise at the end. So let me share a meme, our first meme of the evening. This was sent to us by our dear friend, Tanita. Thank you so much, Tanita, because I think we can all relate to this. I wasn't feeling well, so I went to the quilt shop to pick up a prescription. They call it a receipt. Whatever, right? Do we all know that? Yeah. Some days when I'm just not, going off to that go off to that fabric store, come out with that little receipt in my hand and a bag in the other hand, and I feel great. I love this one. Thank you so much, Tanita, for sending that one in. For sure. We could all use that as a little bit of a pick-me-up, right? All right, let me bring up the next one. I have 2 more, and they're cute ones tonight. You all know that I have been redoing the studio. It's done now, by the way. And so these are a little bit like about that. Too much fabric. I think the phrase you're looking for is too small a sewing room or too small a quilting room. Isn't that correct, ladies and gentlemen? If we have gentlemen with us tonight, isn't that true? There can't be too much fabric. Your room is just too small. Now, believe me, when I went through this studio, I gave away 8 black garbage bags of craft and fabric items to our local Goodwill and charities that do crafts and stuff with kids and with the elderly and disabled and all. They were all thrilled with it. And I can tell you this space is still completely packed out with fabric and all of my stuff, but is now officially only the studio. Nobody's allowed to drop off their books or their packages that they want to hide in the spare area where I've got everything organized. That is no longer allowed. You know, the whole idea about not using the good scissors on paper, you cannot use the studio as your junk room anymore. No more. If you do, you're on the naughty list for good for Christmas. I'm not getting you anything. All right. And I have one more to share with you. One more meme. Here we go. Let's see. Fabric is like rabbits. Kathy, isn't that true, girl? Isn't that true? Now, I just love this one. My dream world. Clean room. I've got my little hat on. A place where the fabric is free and sewing makes you thin. Isn't that hilarious? I loved it. I wish my fabric would make, if having fabric made you thin, I would be this itsy bitsy. I love that one. Do you guys, I just thought this one was hilarious. I might have to post this somewhere because I just thought it was hilarious. Where the fabric is free and sewing makes you thin. I just loved it. Yeah, that one was a good one. If I do say so myself. All righty, we'll go ahead and get rid of that one. All right, those are our memes for this week. All about fabric in your sewing room, and yeah, it's been, so y'all know I think this was like this last week. I don't even remember anymore. It was like this last week. I had a rumble with the box cutter, puncture wound, slice. Oh my gosh, what an ordeal this has been. So I'm still in the whole bandage thing. I went back for my first guitar lesson Monday night, and when I was fretting with this finger on, I had a nerve shoot right up my arm through that, and because it must be that nerve is cut in there. Oh, I thought I was going to scream bloody murder. But the doc says that I need to keep this on. She's trying to get it so I don't have a scar here. She has some magic method. I'm just going to let her go for it because she doesn't want a scar there to bother me when I play guitar or when I sew and things like that. So I'm willing to do whatever she says I need to do. All right. Are you ready for some thanks for sharing? Because our dear Kathy, who is down in North Carolina, did happen to send me some pictures. So last week we started, we did the friendship braid with our half hexie. And Kathy sent me a couple of pictures that I want to share with you. So she sent me a few of them showing her half hexies, but I'm just going to show you one of these, and then I'm going to show you her friendship braid. So this is Kathy's half hexies, some of them. Aren't those the perfect fabric for this time of year? Excuse me while I take a drink here. I've got my coffee. The calendar says October, people. I don't care if it's 80 degrees outside. I'm treating it like it's now autumn. But aren't these perfect for this type of year? This is beautiful fabric, Kathy. Really lovely. Now, let me show you her friendship braid because it is gorgeous. Let me bring it up. Here it is. There we go. That's her friendship braid. Now, Kathy, I don't remember if you told me, dear, are you going to make a bunch of columns and a quilt? Are you going to cut this and make it, put the sashing around it for squares? Or are you going to do something else with yours? Let us know in the comments. That way you can inspire us all with something to do with our friendship braid. But I love that. I think the placement, Kathy, is beautifully done. I think you did lights and darks well and blended them well. And you went from just your solids into tones that blend in with each other so well. And then when you got into these orange with the greens, then you led into this other green. I'm assuming you planned that. If you didn't, don't tell me because I think you're brilliant. So just we'll assume that you did. But I think that's really gorgeous and it'll be beautiful for the autumn. But yeah, let us know what you are going to do with it. Yes, you are right, T. Isn't that so pretty? I really love it. Very, very pretty. I haven't been able to work on mine anymore this week because I was finishing the room, but now I can. And so in regard to the room, because I know a couple of you have said, Are you going to do a video? I'm going to take this down now. I have been looking on YouTube at these studio sewing room tours. I don't feel like mine deserves a tour in that respect, but I have been doing some smaller videos of different places. I'll put those together so you guys can see what I did in the different areas. These are scraps from a fat quarter shop scrap bag, so I'll do as many as possible, then decide. Probably, oh, a table runner. Kathy, that's a brilliant idea. You could do, so yeah, 2 of them together or maybe 3 of them together. That would be a beautiful table runner. They're scraps, really? Wow, what a great scrap bag. Yeah, that's an awesome scrap bag for sure. Absolutely, for sure. All righty. So those are our thank you for sharing. Thank you so much, Kathy, for sharing those tonight. That was mighty sweet of you. All righty. Now, I thought I'd share something with you guys. I like a certain fat quarter bundle that I can get. It's by Wyndham Fabrics. It's called Color Me. I use it a lot because the colors in them fill in lots of little places. So I'm going to show you the 3. They just came today. I ordered 2 of each of these. Then I'm going to show you like the ones that are out there, and you can, I'll tell you where I get mine because they carry quite a few. I have a hard time finding these, but there is a shop. I know them. They're actually out in Idaho, but they carry them, and that's where I get mine from. If you're interested. So the very first one I ever got was this one. It's called Color Me, the Spring Break Collection by Wyndham Fabrics. And of course, you know instantly why I like it, right? Look at all those minty blues. And the reds. All right, now hang on, my friend. I'm not enabling. I'm just helping a friend out. What can I say? All right, so this one is called Spring Break, and I have loved this one since I first got it. This is probably, I bought 2 of them. These are probably like my 6th and 7th bundles of these. And the nice thing is they're not solids. Look at this one here. But it reads as a solid, and it can be used that way. The green one in here is like that. So some of them are solid, but a lot of them, even this minty aqua one, is kind of like almost like a grunge fabric. So that is Spring Break. Then the other one I got is, you guys know I like red, and I like putting it with those minty colors, but with Christmas, and then we go and we're almost like right on top of Valentine's Day, I always like to do a little something. And so they have this one called Red Roses. Red Roses. Look at all those pretty reds. So from just kind of a tomato, this one really is a tomatoey red. And that is probably one of my favorite reds these days, because you guys see I've been using that kind of tomatoey red a lot. In fact, this would be a great substitute for that right there. But it goes from that all the way into the deeper, all the way into like the burgundies. And you can see they all have little bits of pattern on them. I don't like taking them out of their nice little sleeves. Sorry, guys. So I'm just trying to show them to you without taking them all apart. But this one is called Red Roses. Reminds me of that children's story, Snow White and Rose Red. I have that storybook from when I was little. My aunts gave it to me, and or my one aunt gave it to me. She was in, get this, back when people went to secretarial college. Yes, my aunt went to secretarial college. That was a big deal back in the 50s and 60s. And she gave me that book, and that's what that collection reminds me of. And then this collection is called Sedona, and you're going to immediately know why I love it. It's the darker versions of that first one. So darker teals, golds, and now these aren't really reds down in here. This one kind of is. There's a little, but there's even oranges. So I thought these colors in here are really great for this time of year. So that's called Sedona. So I got 2 of each of these, but now I want to show you what's actually out there on these, because it kind of blows me away. I had no idea. Here we go. So I went to the Wyndham Fabrics page and looked up Color Me. It's by Whistler Studios, I guess, but Wyndham puts it together. So this one, let's see, it says here, I think new colors are shipping for 2024. There was some information on here. 10 fat quarters per bundle, right? To download all 22 Color Me project yardages. So there's yardage too. You can get, I'm going to have to get this catalog, I think. But look, so this Tide Pool quilting cotton, that one I know I've had and I love. But look, they have a very neutral bundle. Look at all of these gorgeous color bundles. There's the spring break one. I've also had the lavender fields one before and the jewel one. You can instantly tell the ones I've probably had. But if you're somebody that loves blue, this blue jean collection is beautiful. And then it looks like they have some free projects down here if you want to do it in a traditional quilting way. But I love having these on standby in the fabric room so that when I need that perfect little color, I can usually find it in those bundles. And that way I also don't need to go and buy a lot of yardage. I can just have some fat quarter, usually with, you know, as well as I do with Build a Quilt, you can get away with fat quarters a lot unless you're going to do a bigger quilt, which we're getting ready to do our quilt, right? I'll tell you more about that in a bit, but those are all Color Me from Wyndham Fabrics. Now, I get mine. I order mine from Shabby Fabrics. Has anybody ever heard of Shabby Fabrics before? Ooh, oh, you guys like them good. Hi, Sharon. Oh dear, it's no worry that you're late. If you want to catch the memes, and there were some good ones. Our friend Tanita sent one in this week. You can just watch the replay later, but we're so glad that you're here. And Sharon, I should let you know that package got sent to you. So it's winging its way to you. And I didn't realize until I looked at your address again, you're a fellow Illinois girl, so you should get it in a day or two at the most, I'm guessing. Order from them a lot. Yes, Ruth. She's wonderful. She's lovely. I've known her for ever and ever. So I order these from her shop because they have them a lot. Like I said, the one place closest to me 2 hours away had these like 1 year, and then I never saw them again, but I really love them. So I just ordered them directly from Shabby Fabrics. So shabbyfabrics.com, and you should be able to find them. Yeah, Sharon. Yeah, I love them too, for sure. All righty. So that's Color Me from Wyndham. Now I want to share with you guys one more time this year's, we talked last week about this year's Quilt Lab quilt, right? So I'm going to bring up a picture of it. There's our picture. This is our quilt that we're going to be making. And I'm going to then show you these. I've got the actual blocks here. If you don't have these blocks yet, don't go out and get them because they're going to come in a pattern set for folks who don't have them. And then for all of you that do have them, you're part of the Quilt Lab subscription or you've been purchasing them monthly, your pattern directions and information will just be a free download for you guys. But if you need these digital files, wait till I post that. And I'm trying to get all of that out for you by the end of next week, okay? Because I want you to have it so you can start gathering your little fabrics. But let me take that off for now because let me show you. These are the 5 blocks that we're using from this year. I don't always, like I said last week, I don't always choose to use all the blocks from the year and just do a sampler. But you've got all those blocks that you can do tons of stuff with, and we may use them for future things as well. In fact, this little block right here from last month is going to get used in another project, which I'm going to be telling you about in a little while after I introduce the new October block. So this is the Blooming Star block. We're using that one. The Flower Basket, the Inside Out block, the Points Home block, and then this one is the Diamond in a Cross block. And I know you can't see it because it's hanging down here. And this is a bigger version. I don't have a 10 by 10 of it made yet. but that one is the 5th one that we're going to be using. So let me show you the quilt again. So you can see, here we go. You can see here's our flower basket, the inside out, the blooming star, points home, and diamond in a cross. Those are our 5 blocks. Okay. Now, here's the story. I spent a couple of days calling around trying to get fabric. Last week, I introduced you guys to the 2 fabric collections. If you want to know what they are, watch the live from last week because I show them to you. And some of you wanted to know about kits. And I told you we're actually going to start doing fabric and kits in the new year. But you wanted to know about having kits for now, for this particular quilt. And unfortunately, after calling around to a lot of people, unless I was willing to do just blindly huge orders of both, like several $1,000s worth of orders of fabric for both collections, they wouldn't let me take pre-orders and get back to them and just say, hey, can you put this amount of fabric together for me? They wanted me to buy whole bolts. And because I don't know who wants it, and we'd have to go through that whole process, and that would delay us starting the quilt, I'm not going to be able to do kits for you for this particular quilt. However, like I said last week, they're both Kimberbell collections, and they're easy to find anywhere you want to get them. If your local shops carry Kimberbell, you can get them. If they don't carry Kimberbell, but they carry if they carry fabrics from the company that prints for them, oh shoot, it begins with an M and now I can't think of it to save my life. Mayflower, something like that. Shoot, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, if they can order through that company, they can order the fabrics for you. Or I ordered mine from the Fat Quarter Shop. I would have normally ordered it from my girlfriend's quilt shop, which is Kim's sister Chris's shop, but they don't always have online everything I need in it, which kind of is funny to me. But I ordered mine from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I know they still have them. So when you get the patterns next week and you see the amount of fabric you're going to need, if you want to order them online, that's the first place I would suggest you look. They don't know these orders are coming or anything like that. There's nothing there. You can get them anywhere. In fact, if you can get them locally, please support your local retailer for sure. All righty. Let's see. Let me check on here. I kind of figured that the minimum amounts for wholesale is great. It is crazy, T. It's not so bad typically. Like what I'm getting started with for next year is not so bad, but because this was a last minute thing, it was going to be kind of more. They were trying to just make me do more to accommodate us. And I felt like that was not really fair to you guys. I probably wouldn't have minded having a bunch of fabric sitting around, but you guys would have seen everything in those fabrics probably for the next 5 years until I get rid. Maywood Studios. Thank you, T. Oh my gosh. I just couldn't think of it. Yes, Kathy, Maywood Studios. Thank you. So if your shop can order from Maywood, if they don't typically carry Kimberbell's fabric line, they can get those fabrics that I showed you last week through their Maywood dealer. Okay. All righty. And I think if they go through Checkers, I think Checkers does Maywood supplies for Maywood. Excuse me. So sorry about that. But in the new year, we've got new stuff coming, and we're going to have fabrics, and we're going to have kits sometimes, and lots of great stuff coming. So sorry that I couldn't accommodate this year. And I felt bad too. I felt really bad the other night. And Dave's like, it is what it is. And I'm like, I know, but I just felt bad that I couldn't accommodate you guys this time. So that is the year-end quilt. And like I said, by the end of next week, I hope to have the patterns out for those who already have the designs. And for those of you that want to make the quilt, but you don't have any of the blocks yet, you can buy the whole package with just the designs. You won't be getting the designs that we did all year. You'll be getting these 5 blocks in the size we're using for the quilt. Okay. So you won't be getting the 3 sizes. You'll be getting the single size for the quilt, that kind of thing. Alrighty. All right. Let me check that off my list here. Show blocks. No, yep, okay. And I've got no kits with a little teardrop next to it on my thing. Eek. All right, are you guys ready to see? I'm with Dave. It's okay. I'm sure we all here are pros in ordering fabrics online. Got my PhD. I only bet you do. I only bet you do. So I don't show children's pictures, guys, online. I just do it as a safety thing. And I don't ever do it unless I get permission. And I didn't ask T permission, but she sent me a photograph of these little t-shirts that she made for her twin granddaughters who are 3. And I am telling you, I just want to squeeze them right through the camera. They're so adorable. They're such precious little girls. And T, you were saying that they keep you going. I don't know a 3-year-old that doesn't. Yeah, and you've got 2 of them to deal with. So I'm sure, yeah, you love them to bits, but they keep you on your toes for sure. Thank you so much for sharing that picture with me. They were truly adorable little girls, 3 years old, probably going on 13, I'm betting. Yeah, little girls are like that. So, all righty. All right, are you ready to see this month's block? The October Quilt Lab block. Now, I want to say something. This block is not like these blocks. It's not fancy, but it is a staple that every one of you want to have in your quilt block collection, because you guys, you can make whole quilts with this one block. You can add this block into any quilt design that calls for it. You can make up your own patterns with it. You can play with the color with it. This block is so versatile. You guys are going to be able to use it for so many things. It's complete chaos. Yes, I'm sure it is. Hi, Sue. No, don't be sorry you're late. In fact, you're right on time because I'm just about to show the October block. So glad you could be here with us. So this block is simple. I think it's elegantly simple. So you guys know that I think I've said before, when people get drawn into quilting, there's a couple of patterns that must have a hook on them, because when people see it, it just hooks them right on in. The log cabin block does it for them every single time. That color is going round and round, just kind of mesmerizes people. So that's one. And we've got our log cabin blocks are out on the website. So if you want, you can go take a look at those. The other thing that really makes people kind of go, oh, when they see quilts is when they're made with beautiful stars. And there's lots of stars. Blooming star, Points Home star. We've done a ton of stars this year. We do a ton of stars every year because stars are almost limitless. But one block I've never done yet for Build a Quilt is a plain, solid color, single 8-pointed star. Are you ready? Here is our single color 8-pointed star. Now, I think last year we did an 8-pointed star where we did half square triangles where these flying geese are. This is really the proper way to make an 8-pointed star with your flying geese units. This block will come in 6x6, 10x10, and 12x12 sizes. This is the 10x10. And here is the cool thing about this block. If you want to make a beautiful summer quilt, and you are someone who can live with a white background, get yourself white fabric and use it for your background and make every star in a different color. It will be glorious. You will have people's chins dropping on the floor when they see it. People love this block. You can make this block. If you are new, you can make this block right away. It's not difficult at all. In fact, I'm going to break it down for you here in just a moment. It is not difficult at all. If you're not somebody into white, use a different color for your background. Or, like I said, you can take these blocks and put them in any quilt that calls for an 8-pointed star block. The 6x6 version is a perfect quilt label on the back, because look, right here in the middle, You got a complete blank square that you can embroider on. To so-and-so, from so-and-so. This is the date. This is the reason. Whatever you want to put on your labels, the 6x6 is great for labeling. Or you could take the 6x6 and see here in these, if you have blocks that have 6x6 base units, you can interchange them with other blocks and still have a whole 8-pointed star. The lightest of gray is my favorite, neutral or cream. I love that light gray tea. That's a beautiful color. I agree with you on that. So this is our block. And the reason, I know it's simple, but I saved it for the end of the year for a reason. Because not the end of the year quilt that we're going to be starting, but I have been working on a quilt design for not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 5 years. I have been working on creating a design, a quilt design, for 7 years. It has gone through at least 10 different iterations. And when I finally was happy with it, I almost went all the way back to the simplest idea, because it is one of those quilts that uses this block and something else you see here, and I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. And it's one of those that when you look at it, if you kind of let your eyes go wibbly, you kind of see a different dimension to it, a different secondary pattern. That's what this quilt will do. And the quilt is called It's Full of Stars. Do you guys know that reference? Do you know that line? It's full of stars. Does anybody? I won't say yet. If anybody knows what that reference is, it's full of stars. Type it in the comments. And so I finally created it, and you will be needing this lovely pattern to do it. And now you have the perfect 8-point star in your library of blocks and in your collection. And it really is something I probably should have done this block a long time ago, but now was the time. I always feel like when things get done, that's the time they were meant to be done. But this is our block for this month. Here is your pattern set for your written instructions. You can print them, you can read them on your computer, or you can read them on your tablet if you want to. It has all the normal things. The video, in fact, on how to make this, the how-to video, is already available on the web or on here on YouTube on the channel. And I don't have it on mine. I'm running out of ink here, so that's why that looks wibbly. But on your copy, there will be an address here that will link back to that video for you, so that you will always have access to that how-to video in there. And I walk through everything with you in there, what's in the pattern. So all of that is already available out on the website. Plus, of course, you always get your coloring sheet so you can play. And the nice thing about this block, it's only 2 colors. So pick, and I chose these colors because they kind of had that autumn look to them. And I'm ready for fall so badly, and I'm afraid it's never going to get cool enough for me to start wearing sweaters. And I'm a little upset about that, to be honest. Fall and winter are my 2 seasons. And here in Illinois, we have not had a real winter probably in 6 years now. Dave says we have Tennessee winters. Our friends that live in Knoxville, and my aunt and cousins that live in Memphis, and our niece and her husband live in Memphis. Our winters are now like their winters. And if I wanted to live in the South and have a nice warm winter, I would move there again, but I don't. I like my cold winters, and I'm not having them. So anyway, I made this in this beautiful, I think this color, this is kind of that ginger color that I showed you last week in the in that Reverie color set that is one of the choices for the end of the year quilt. And then I honestly don't know. This is was an old fat quarter that I had, but I thought it went with it really pretty. It was, and I like the light with the darker background because that really makes that star pop out. But on a really light background, deeper colors would really pop out as well. So that is our block of the month. But let me show you. I told you I would show you how it's kind of how it's put together a little bit. Not how it's put together, but what you're going to be making. Aha! I rolled the design board around. So the other side of this design board is cork. And so I don't use it all that often, but oh, I'm glad you like it, T. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. I like the two color. Sue, you're right though, Sue, even though you don't have to pick a lot of colors. I love two color quilts. I think they're beautiful. As much as I like bright colors, Tula, and as much as I like scrappy quilts, truly my favorite, I really think the quilts that I think are truly just elegantly beautiful are two color quilts. There's something about them. There's just something about them. I love it because I like that, like in China patterns too, like that old blue and white Delft China pattern you used to see back in the 60s and 50s. I might be dating myself. You guys might not be old enough to remember that, but just blue and white. And I just thought it was so elegantly beautiful. I love it. Ah, Kathy, you're right. Now, Kathy, did you look that up or did you know that that was what that was from? So Kathy's right. That quilt, the title of that quilt, It's Full of Stars, is a line from 2001, A Space Odyssey. When that movie came out, I was a kid and my dad took me to see it at the Rialto Theater in Joliet, Illinois. Blew my mind. I have loved science fiction ever since. I grew up to be a scientist in my other life, so I guess that was kind of a natural fit for me. But I loved that movie. And I have always loved that line. And for a long time, I thought, stars, quilts. And about 7 years ago, I sat down to create this quilt. And I thought, oh, I have to name it It's Full of Stars because it's all about stars. It's all about this star, the single 8-pointed star. So yes, Kathy, you are right. Bravo. All right, getting back to our 8-point star. This is all you're making for this month's star or this month's block. Let's see. I don't have fiddle. All right, I'll just hold it up. So this is what you're making. You're making small squares, super easy. A large square, that's your center section. And remember, your sizes will be different depending on if you're making the 6x6, the 10x10, or the 12x12. And then flying geese units. So all three of these, super easy to make. And you're only going to be making one of the large, 4 of the small squares, and 4 flying geese units. And then in the how-to video, I should go through the layout with you as well. Again, one of the easiest layouts we do, the traditional 3-row layout for a block. Very simple to do. But these are all you're going to make. And in that video, especially for those of you that haven't done Build a Quilt before, there are demonstration videos, mini demonstration videos that show you how to make these. Now, the square is one video because you make it the exact same way no matter what the size is. And then there's one for the flying geese unit as well, and for how to lay it out and put it all together. Okay. So that is the new block, and looks like we have just about enough time for me to finish with a big surprise. Any questions from anybody? You are right, Kathy. 2-color quilts are classic and clean and fresh. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of your favorite, mine too. 2010. I couldn't wait for that movie to come out. I couldn't wait. I thought, so when I first saw that movie, I thought, how old will I be? I started calculating on how old I would be in 2001. And when 2001 came, I was all grown up and nothing from the movie had come true. And then 2010 had already been out. So then I started thinking about 2010. There's even another book after that. I read all of the books after I saw that first movie. Even when I was a kid, I read them as they came out. Really good. Hi, Lisa. Oh, no worries, dear. Nobody ever has to say sorry about being late, or if you can't get here, there's always the replay. You know we love having you when you can show up. Thank you for saying hello. I'm sorry you had to work, though. What a bummer. But so for me, Wednesday night, technically kind of a work for the business, right? But I love it. I get to be with all of you guys. So it's nice when you have something that you do that's also something that you do as a living. That's great. I always told my husband, you really need to do what you love in life because you're going to spend more time doing that than anything else. And it's the truth. It's the truth. But we're so glad you could be with us, Lisa. So Lisa, when you catch the replay, our new block, the simple 8-pointed star, solid color, and you can go back and find out why we're doing it and all of that. I won't go back through that all with everybody, but you're here in time because are you guys ready for something really, truly amazing, blow your mind, spectacular? Take a look at this. Build a Quilt. 500,000, that's 500,000 to you and me, subscribers. So let's celebrate you guys. Because of all of you, we are at, technically, I think we're now like at 503,000 subscribers. When I saw that, I was staring at my phone, and Dave's like, why are you staring? And I turned the phone around and he's like, I won't tell you what he said. It's not polite. We were both blown away. You guys, now congratulate one another. This is all because of you guys. Really, it truly, honestly is. When I started doing Build a Quilt, because I started doing it for friends, I thought, well, maybe, I'll get 5,000 people who want to quilt with me. So that would be cool. That would be so cool. I'd be completely blown away. I had no idea that it would reach 500,000 plus now. So I will tell you, in January, when we started our second year of officially Build a Quilt, we were at about 4,000. So just this year, because of all of you guys, we have grown this much. This is how many friends you have that will quilt with you. 499,000 of them. Each of you have 499,000 friends that will quilt with you. How do you like that? How are those apples? Isn't that pretty cool? Oh, you guys pat yourself on the back. Seriously, Sharon, you guys, this is truly because of you guys. So I have created, let me take this little guy down. I am creating, I don't have it ready for you tonight because I made a mistake on my digitizing and I have to go back and redigitize part of it. I was so excited that I forgot to like actually do part of it. It would have been like kind of wonky. Yeah, I know. 500,000. Is that bizarro or what? Okay, so let me show you what's coming your way. Let me find it. I am creating for you the 500,000 or 500,000 celebration confetti cake block for all of us. So it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layer cake with a little bow on top. What do you guys think? Do you like that? It's a free block. It's going to be 6 by 6 and 12 by 12. I did the 6 by 6 for a couple of reasons. One, I know there's some of you out there that only have 5 by 7 hoops, and I wanted everybody to be able to enjoy a version of it. And the 6 by 6 is it's a perfect quilt label on the back. Within your layers, you can embroider your names, your dates, things like that, and put it on the back. So for a quilt you're giving as a birthday, a quilt you're giving as an anniversary, congratulations on a baby, congratulations on your wedding, anything like that, okay? And so that I'm going to try and have it ready no later than Monday. I was going to have it ready by Saturday, but Dave reminded me. Dave's not around this evening. He had to go have dinner with some colleagues that are here from Switzerland. And so he and another director had to take some folks out to dinner. And so he reminded me, though, tomorrow that the fireplace guy is coming to do the repairs on our fireplace and all of that. So I only have like a few hours of my own time tomorrow before I have to be available for all of that. So the 6 by 6 and the 12 by 12. So the 12 by 12 would be nice to put in a quilt, maybe if you were going to give it for a birthday. Or Sue, it would make a lovely mini quilt. Make that 12 by 12 block and then quilt it. And then you can like put it on your table, put a cake on it or something like that as a celebration type of thing. That would be great. No calories, no sugar whatsoever, or whatsoever not to love. What's not to love? Absolutely, Kathy. Kathy's right? No calories, no sugar, just lots of beautiful cake. And of course, you'll be able to do your layers in any colors you want and your bow in any color you want. Okay. Alrighty, so that's coming. I hope to have that out to you by Monday. What I will do when I have it finished is I will load it up on the website. It's completely free to everybody. All 500 plus thousand of your friends and you can get it. And then I will I'll send out a notice through the website and I'll put a post in the community section here on YouTube so everyone will know about it. All right. And we'll be able to get it. So I hope you enjoy it. Truly, from the bottom of my heart. Mwah! Thank you all so much for all your support, for all your friendship, for all your kindness. And thanks for quilting with me. I love it that you guys love doing your quilts with Build a Quilt. Now, there was something I was going to say. Oh, and that's why we're not having a question of the week this week, because everybody gets a block this week, right? So you and all 500,000 plus of your friends get a block this week on Monday. Okay. Alrighty. And maybe sooner. If I can get it done sooner, I will. So let me bring it back up. So when I was digitizing the bow, you would have had a very wonky looking bow because I forgot to put in half the stitches. I don't know what I was thinking. I was working on it at night. I woke up, I couldn't get back to sleep. So I came in here and thought I would work on it. Yeah, that probably wasn't the best idea. When I went to stitch it out today, I was like, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, okay. So, but for sure it'll be ready for y'all by Monday. All righty. All right. So one more thing I did wanted to let you all know, though, is that we do have, did I not make wait a minute. I thought I made a banner for it. Let me look. I did not. Hang on. Let me make a banner. Hang on. If you've got questions, go ahead. Put them in the comments. Alrighty. I am going to load the banner. I have a new coupon code for you guys. The coupon code 15 BAQ 2024. 15% off any item. But not, normally it's 15% off one item, right? 15% off any item at all, any item. And you can, I think I did set it for once. I'm going to go, for those of you that are always really quick, I'm going to go reset it a little bit. I want it to be so that it's basically 15% off your total order. So if you get 3 or 4 things, you'll get 15% off everything from now through this coming Tuesday. Okay. So coupons always end at the end of the night before the Wednesday workshop in case then we have new ones. So 15 BAQ 2024. As soon as we're done this evening, I'll go make that change so it's off your whole order and not just one item, because I think I messed that up now that I'm thinking about it. Thank you. You're welcome. You're all very welcome. All righty. So Quilt Lab subscribers, you guys got your email today with your code to download the new block. And if you have questions for this month's Q&A video, please get them to me right away. I am so sorry that August's video kind of got lost in the crazy around here. But since there were no questions, I'm just going to combine all the information between August and September and do the one video for you guys, and it will be out next week as well. So if you have questions, please send them to me, and then that way I can get those into the video. All right, for those of you that are maybe just joining at the end, because our numbers are going up for some reason, This is our new star, the single 8-pointed solid star. All of this is available over at the website, www.mybuildaquilt.com. If you need to contact me for any reason at all, you can at support@sewincommon.com. I try to get back with you right away. Or if it's in the evening or something, it might be the next morning. But I at least, if I can, I at least acknowledge that I received your email. I might have to look something up for you or something like that. But I try to get back with you in some way right away if I can, if it's not night and I'm sleeping, that kind of thing. Which I try to do, but for the last couple of nights, I've had a really hard time sleeping. And then Dave told me tonight he's been having nightmares the last 2 nights. On Saturday, he and I both got our new COVID vaccines. Sunday, he and I were flat out on the sofa all day, both of us. That man has been sick 4 days in 42 years. He was flat on his back Sunday, and so was I. I felt like every bone in my body was being crushed. It was horrible. I had a headache. I felt like my head was coming open. This one was I've not had this kind of reaction with any of the others, but this one was a whopper. And then we talked to somebody he worked with. She had a problem with it too. So maybe it's just extra strong this year. Because I've done the COVID thing now. I don't want to do it again. So I'll continue to get the shots. All right. And as always, thank you all so much for joining tonight. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe and become one of the 500,000 people who have friends here that can quilt with you. I just love that. And please like and share the videos. I appreciate that so much. That is how this group has grown so much. I get so many little direct messages from folks saying, so-and-so told me about Build a Quilt. So-and-so told me about Build a Quilt. And so that's all because of you guys. So please like, share, subscribe, set your notifications so you get notified when I post things. That's the little bell. See, I have one more. Great idea for your practice blocks. Animal shelter in Nashville is desperate need for kennel mats. Kathy, that's an awesome idea. In case you guys don't see Kathy's message, she says she has a great idea for your practice blocks. An animal shelter in Asheville, North Carolina, that's been hit hard, is in desperate need for kennel mats for their dogs and cats. Kathy, can people contact you if they want to about that? That would be great. Oh, and that was the other thing I meant to tell you. All the proceeds from this month's 8-point star, all the proceeds from the sales of this are going to a hospital down south who's been hit by this hurricane. They don't have enough IV bags. They don't have bandages. They're having trouble getting fluids and things in. They've even put up things like GoFundMe's for people to do that. But I know someone down there. He is an ER physician, and he and I used to work together years ago. And he got me in contact with their public relations people. So all the proceeds, and I will tell you guys like next week what we've sent to them, and whatever we get in sales, I will match it personally. And we're going to send that on behalf of all of you to this hospital. And I would tell you the name, but it's gone completely out of my brain. But Kathy, if you can have folks contact you if they want to send you things for that, that's a lovely idea. It's a wonderful idea. PM me and I'll give you the info. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Kathy. Okay, so now I know those of you that are Quilt Lab subscribers, you've already paid for your block, so you don't need to buy another block. If you wish to donate, I don't have any way for you to do that separately. I'll tell you what, any sales this week, not just for this block, any sales this week, we will send to this hospital, okay? So Quilt Lab subscribers, if there's some other pattern you want to purchase, that can be your donation. So any sales from now through Tuesday, I'm gonna match it and we'll send it down to this hospital. And guys, I will give you that total amount next Wednesday at Wednesday workshop, so you know how much, and it will be sent down on behalf of the subscribers for Build a Quilt Patchwork in the Hoop. So in your name, it won't be from me. It will be from all of you. Okay, you guys. Hubby called. It paused my video. So if I missed something, you can catch the replay because we are now out of time. I knew I'd get there. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being with me tonight. It's been a pleasure. It was a busy night, but we had lots of fun. I had lots of fun. I hope you did with all of your 500,000 friends. I mean, you can go around telling people now you've got at least 500,000 friends. So that's pretty cool. I think so. You guys are so amazing. All right, folks. Until next week. Oh, and regarding the tour of the room, I'll be doing those little things. I might put them out as separate little pieces or maybe as one big piece, but you'll start seeing them come out. Okay, thank you for your interest in that. Until next time, everybody, have a lovely evening, a great week. All of our friends down south, please stay safe, okay? Thank you, everybody else. Everybody else stay safe, too. You might not have had bad weather, but, drive safe, be safe, all that good stuff. All right, bye, everybody. See you next week.